The hell? Twig, you need to get up and get moving. What are you talking about?
He is but hurt that he has to talk about this thing again.
I keep forgetting you can talk.
It's always watching, and I don't want to give it content.
That is a Kinect, my guy.
The Xbox 360 Kinect was an interesting accessory. Launched back in November of 2010 with 12 games, it had quite a fight ahead of it. Despite criticism from the hardcore gamers, it actually earned a Guinness World Record for fastest selling consumer electronics device, which technically means I also have a Guinness World Record? The Kinect had over 120 plus games for it, with another almost 50 that were better with Kinect. So was I finally going to be able to play something like Halo without a controller? No. Unfortunately, a lot of these better with Kinect games weren't exactly all that you would think. Many of them just adding voice control so you could tell your squad what to do, with many times it just fell short. So today, I want to take a look at the game that requires and embraces the Kinect. The sequel to one of the Kinect's launch titles, Kinect Sports Season 2.
Come on.
Okay.
Does it feel great to be vertical again?
I guess, but remember, we're not giving this thing any content.
Alright.
It is giving me content.
Well, here we are. Released on October 25th, 2011, almost a year after the Kinect launch, Kinect Sports Season 2 launched with 6 sports: football, skiing, baseball, darts, tennis, and golf. Only 9 holes of golf though. The remaining 9 holes were added as DLC along with additional courses in skiing, as well as adding basketball as a playable sport. So, let's go calibrate our Kinect and start with our first sport, darts.
1.
I did say we weren't giving this thing content. So darts is a weird sport. Players aim to get their score down to 0 from 501, with the final dart ending on a double space. The doubles are the outer targets as well as the bullseye, and even some around the board are worth triple points, which I'll be honest, growing up I always thought you'd want either the highest points within so many rounds or to just hit the bullseye constantly and consistently. It's a lie! To throw the dart, extend your arm out in front of you and aim at your target. To lock in, pull your arm back and then extend your arm again at a steady pace. But good luck with that! In my experience, no matter how still my arm was or how well lit the room was, it could never lock in properly or it would swerve off course and change where I was aiming as I was trying to throw the dart.
60. Bust.
How the hell did I lose?
I'm just as confused as you are. I don't know how this works.
That's horse.
How about we change up the sports? Baseball season is about to start, and there's no way we could get content out of this.
Oh, extra bite. Gone.
So baseball is separated into 3 parts: the batter, pitcher, and fielder. As a batter, you simply swing your arms like you're holding a baseball bat. You can bunt it or swing it. Now, obviously, you'll want to load the bases to get the most runs. Speaking of, after each successful hit, you'll have to run and really pick up those knees. You might even have to slide in some instances, so make sure you have enough room. When your team isn't batting, you'll switch between the pitcher and fielder. As the pitcher, you simply just throw the ball. However, there are different pitching techniques that you can use to throw off your opponent. So how you throw the ball will determine if you just pitch a straight ball or a curveball. It's also important to note that while you're playing as the batter or pitcher, you can raise your arms to call in your MVP that will absolutely crush. The batter will almost always hit a home run, while the pitcher will make the ball nearly impossible to hit. While playing as a fielder, it's pretty straightforward. When the ball is hit, the camera will shift around an outfielder, and you'll just have to move your hand to the spot where the ball will land so you can catch it. Side note, if everyone playing knows what they're doing, you will be at this for a long time.
I want to see those feet moving. Time to go deep.
I think Hans wants us to play football.
No, he just has a foot fetish.
Move over, Madden. We've got a perfectly good game of football. So, there are some positives and negatives to football. The positives: it's football. The negatives. Your defensive lineup is an RNG number that does its own thing. You choose what play you want to run, which I'll be honest, I don't understand what any of these squiggles mean. Like, why would I want to go forward then backwards? It's driving me away from the end zone. You throw the football at the right time to one of your players that's open. Once they catch it, you run in place and jump out of the way from the opposing team's players. Honestly, this one's pretty responsive with Kinect, so I had to give them props for that. Of course, it wouldn't be football with some kind of product placement or halftime show. You ever look at a set of dice and think, wow, that's 6 more edges than I'm emotionally prepared to handle? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about Yahtzee with Buddies, the only game brave enough to ask, what if dice put on your phone? That's right, it's Yahtzee. You roll dice, you get numbers, but now it's mobile. And it's not just you versus the cold, uncaring math gods. It's you versus your friends or strangers. You can challenge buddies, join tournaments, unlock flashy dice that make losing look stylish. And it's classic dice rolling chaos, modernized for the age of staring at screens instead of each other. New players will receive a welcome pack including a mix of energy, bonus rolls, and vanity items. Download Yahtzee with Buddies today, because nothing strengthens friendships like competitive probability.
Dude, you're giving a content.
Oh, I know. Let's do a different sport. Something that's completely boring that we can't get content from it.
Right.
Tennis.
Tennis is one sport that's pretty much one-to-one with its real-life counterpart. You just have to swing your arms to hit the ball and rally it back and forth until someone scores. This is similar to baseball, where if you have players who know what they are doing, it honestly becomes a game of stamina. If you play Wii Sports like the rest of the world, you're already familiar with this game. Speaking of familiar sports, let's head on over to another one.
That took longer than expected.
Is there anything on here that isn't exhausting?
I mean, it's got golf.
Golf is honestly my favorite sport in this entire game. It's extremely chill and laid back, and listening to the banter from the announcer and the way he says iron is just great.
Taking up the iron for a mid-range shot.
But golf plays exactly like you would imagine. When you want to change clubs, just reach your arm out and move it up or down to which club you want, and if you want to practice, just raise your arm up. However, you can't practice putting, which is kind of a bummer, especially since you can't really feel the weight of your swing until the damage is already done. But the holes are really thought out, and depending on the difficulty you play on, it adds wind and other factors. Though oddly enough, when the game launched, it only had the first 9 holes. If you wanted the back 9 for the full experience, you had to wait until December 20th, 2011 for the Maple Lakes Golf Pack DLC and pony up 400 Microsoft points, or about $5. Which honestly isn't a bad deal, though it does seem like there was a bit of time crunch as this wasn't the only game to receive extra content. Skiing is one of the easier sports in the game. When the race starts, you'll be standing like you would on skis with your legs a few feet apart, then pull yourself forward on the poles to get a nice start. Afterwards, once you start moving, you'll bend your knees with your hands resting on them. While you're racing down the hill, you have to pass through some gates, and depending on the difficulty you're playing on, it determines just how many or few there are. Miss a gate and it adds a time penalty. There's also some jumps that you have to do on some ramps. As you approach them, you'll want to jump when they turn green. Just make sure that you have enough room. Skiing is an interesting sport as it also has DLC. On January 10th, 2012, you can purchase the Midnight Mountain Ski Pack for 400 Microsoft points, or about $5. It added 3 new courses and some achievements for those die-hard achievement hunters. Which honestly, I feel like this one isn't really worth it. Speaking of DLC, let's talk about an entire sport that was DLC.
Did they add Blitzball?
God, I wish.
Basketball was added as downloadable content, and it's an odd one. Rather than playing basketball, it's a small minigame collection of 3 games. In fact, all of the sports have minigames this time around. Starting with basketball, there's 3-Point Hero, Alley-Oop Dreams, and Shot Party. 3-Point Hero is kind of what you would see at an NBA All-Star game, I assume. You've got 60 seconds to shoot the balls into the hoop. As you clear each ball cart, it will move you into a different spot. Also, if you score the last ball on the cart, you'll earn some extra time. Overall, fairly simple, but if you miss the last ball on the cart, you're treated to the sound of someone cleaning windows. Alley-Oop Dreams is more about passing the ball to the right player. You pass it to the green players, and you'll earn extra points. Pass it to the green dino mascot, and you'll earn extra time. This one can be a bit tricky. Players will either be running onto the court or jumping to the hoop. So you have to time your pass and make sure you pass to the right spot. The last mini game from basketball is Shot Party. This game is a little weird. Fun, but weird. While standing at the free throw line, you are to shoot the ball and score while hitting the green records. Each time you hit a green record, the game changes what copyrighted song is being played. By the way, this game boasts 44 songs that everyone is bound to know, and if you don't know them, the game will engrave them into your head, so you will know exactly what they are. Darts has 3 minigames, but the first one being Pop Darts, and I think the game thinks I'm a professional at this, because it has you throwing darts at a giant wheel while someone is strapped to it. And I hope they've got good insurance. Up next is Smart Shot, and I hope you like math. It asks you 20 math questions and wants you to throw your dart at the correct answer. Honestly, this one isn't too bad, considering that it's almost impossible to aim the darts where you want them to go. But it also has a problem telling me to get out there and
Go forth and multiply.
Then our last minigame for darts is Darts vs. Zombies. In this game, you're trying to keep the zombies away from the pizza where the bullseye would be. But this is darts. It doesn't aim correctly no matter how well you calibrate your Kinect. The only fun thing about this is when it's over, because then it plays a discounted version of Thriller and you can dance to it. Then, moving on to baseball, we have 3 minigames. The first is Home Run Hero. It has you hitting 10 balls with the bat in an attempt to score a home run. Scoring a home run gives you an extra ball. This game is okay. Even if you don't score a home run, the game adds up your total distance, which is pretty nice actually. The second minigame is Frantic Fielder. In this one, you'll be out in the field catching a barrage of balls. It's worth noting that you can only miss 3 balls, but if you catch all the balls in each round, you'll earn an extra chance to catch more in case you miss one. This game will try to trick you by bouncing the ball out of your hand, so it will test your hand-eye coordination. Our last minigame in America's pastime is Pitcher Perfect, which has you feeling like Captain America bouncing the balls off the walls and boards, trying to break the targets and earn more time. I think my one gripe with this one is that if you miss the ball, it doesn't tell you to stick out your arm for another, it just assumes you know. And eventually it will show you, but only after about 5 seconds have passed. Now let's move on to football. It has 2 minigames, Crazy Kicker and Receiver Fever. Crazy Kicker has you kicking the ball further and further from the goalpost with each kick. It's alright. The other game, Receiver Fever, has you playing quarterback and throwing the ball at these targets while you try not to hit the cheerleaders and avoid getting sacked. I actually like this game since it can help you hone in when throwing the ball in the main event. The minigames in tennis are kind of a mixed bag. The first game, Smash Alley, has you hitting balls at the mascots, and I gotta say, they make this way harder than it needs to be. Maybe I'm not moving far enough, but trying to hit the ball on its way back just seems kind of delayed, or it's always out of my reach. Moving on to Rapid Returner has you just trying to hit the balls and avoid hitting the bombs. I'm not exactly sure what this game helps you with, but I had the same issues in this game as I did with Smash Alley, where it seemed like it was delayed when I tried to hit it back. Then our final minigame of tennis is Red Rally, Yellow Rally. This game is probably my top 3 of minigames. This game lets you dual-wield tennis rackets like Roxas from Kingdom Hearts 2 and hit the balls back with the racket of their respective color. This game is so much fun, and I kinda wish real tennis lets you dual wield. Golf's minigames are a drive. We have Ocean Driver, Championship, and Prize Driver. Ocean Driver has you hitting balls off a platform and trying to hit the targets on a moving island. Landing the ball on the 3 will give you an extra ball. This game also introduces wind, so it can help you prepare for higher tiers of difficulty when playing the real sport of golf in the game. The second game is Championship, and has you using the pitching wedge to hit the ball onto the green. The closer you are to the hole, the more points you earn. This game also has wind factored into it. Then finally, the last minigame is Prize Driver, and this one is kinda nonsense. It has you hitting various objects off of a conveyor onto a distant star, each with a different dollar amount. The points are only added to your total if it lands on the star. However, certain prizes will take away points. And finally, we've hit the last sport, skiing, and it has 3 minigames. The first, Downhill Dodge, has you skiing down the course, dodging, ducking, and jumping over obstacles. Not my favorite, but simple. Up next is Cool Ringings. This one has you avoiding mascots while using your ski poles to hit a bunch of cowbells. This is another one that's in my top 3, just for the sound effects alone. Then finally, the last minigame is Top Jumps. It has you avoiding obstacles and tucking in for max speed and then jumping at the end of the ramp for max distance. This one is fun, but also exhausting. Bonus tip, you get more distance when you flap your arms after you jump. Fly like a bird. So overall, I think that Kinect Sports Season 2 is a massive step up from its predecessor. I do think that if they had more time that they could have baked the DLC onto the disc, and it would have been a complete package. Unfortunately, if you don't already own the challenge packs, you won't be able to access them since it has been delisted from the Microsoft Store, which is a shame because the back 9 courses in golf are an absolute joy to play. But this is just another instance of Microsoft fumbling the ball and not giving their studios the time they need to finish the game.
Now, do you feel better?
Actually, yeah. I guess I just really need to get up and move around a bit.
Oh, that's good. Now, are you ready for a rematch of tennis? Let's go.
This probably will not end well.
Man, this is crazy. He's really pushing me to my limit. It's wild that all of this started just because he wanted me to get up and move around.
Does he really think that all of this was because I wanted to get up and move? No, this goes deeper. All of this is his fault. I have to send a message, all for making me watch that awful Final Fantasy movie. No summons, no swords. This is personal. There's no way I'm going to get that time back. If I'm going to win, I have to strike while the iron is hot. This is my story!